Students, welcome to another Mr. Ness screencast. Today's aim is how revolutionary was the American Revolution? And here are your objectives. Please pause the video, look them over, and get ready to copy some vocab terms and take some notes. So in the previous lesson, you looked at the events that led up to the Declaration of Independence. Remember, the colonists did not become independent on July 4th when the Patriot leaders signed the Declaration of Independence. And that's because they still had to fight against and defeat England in a war. And the war that they fought is called the American Revolution. It's also called the Revolutionary War. The American Revolution is the war for independence from England, fought between the patriots, the people who wanted independence, and the loyalists, the people who supported English rule. The war lasted 8 years, and in 1783, the Patriots won. England surrendered, and the 13 colonies became the new independent country called the United States. They were now free from British rule. Let's focus on this term, revolution. A revolution is an event that causes dramatic and widespread change. Take a look at those two words. Dramatic means significant or big. Widespread means that it affects a lot of society. So, a revolution should have big changes that affect many people. The question I want you to think about in this video is, can we say that the American Revolution was a revolution? Did it cause dramatic and widespread change? Let's look at two opposing viewpoints. The first viewpoint says that the American Revolution was conservative. Conservative means that things don't change very much. They mostly stay the same. So conservatives argue that the American Revolution wasn't much of a revolution because not many things changed. The other viewpoint says that the revolution was radical. And radical means that things change a lot. People that think the revolution was radical think that a true revolution occurred because many people were affected by significant changes. So I'll ask you again to think as we continue, was the American Revolution, in your opinion, more conservative or more radical? Here's what the conservatives say. They believe that even while throwing off British rule, the Patriot leaders actually conserved or held on to many of the old ways. These historians admit that we got our political independence from England, but they argue that there was not much significant social or economic change for most people. And in fact, what really happened, they say, is that one group of rich white male American leaders like George Washington and Thomas Jefferson took over from another group of rich white male leaders like King George and the members of the British Parliament. Some famous historians who hold this view were Mary and Charles Beard. They studied the U.S. Constitution, which was written just 4 years after the Revolutionary War ended, and they argued that the Constitution was drafted by wealthy white men, many of them lawyers, for the purpose of hanging on to their power and wealth. This man here, Howard Zinn, was another historian who believed that the revolution was quite limited in scope. In 1980, he wrote, "It seems like the rebellion against British rule allowed a certain group of the colonial elite to replace those loyal to England, give some benefits to small landholders, and leave poor white working people and tenant farmers in very much their old situation." In other words, Zinn believes that not much changed. Another group of historians sees the American Revolution differently, and they think that the revolution was more radical, producing some significant changes that went beyond just independence. For example, this man, historian Gordon Wood, argues that by getting rid of the monarchy, the revolution created significantly more equality among white men. In his 1992 book called The Radicalism of the American Revolution, Wood wrote, "By the early years of the 19th century, the revolution had created a society fundamentally different from the colonial society of the 18th century. It was, in fact, a new society, unlike any that had ever existed anywhere in the world. Wood calls the American Revolution the most change-producing radical event in American history, and he won the Pulitzer Prize for this work. So, was the revolution conservative, or was it radical? Think about this, and you'll look more at it in class. All right, it's time to review the objectives. If you don't know the answer to any of them, rewind the video and review. And I will see you in class. Bye, students.